Welcome to the Lone Zebra podcast, where I share my nitty-gritty health story and what I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. Things that doctors will never tell you. Hi, I'm your host, Diane Lalomia, and I'm glad you're here. We zebras need to stick together. Welcome to episode 020 on the Lone Zebra, and happy Valentine's Day. Today we're talking about love and trust. More about love. So you'll want to stay tuned and not miss out on today's episode. We're also going to be talking about being safe and having love in all the right places. So stick around. Don't want to leave now, do ya? Top 10 ways to enhance your love-making ability. From the book Nutrition Made Simple, a comprehensive guide to latest findings in optimal nutrition by Robert Crayhon, M.S., certified nutritionist. Last name Crayhon. First name Robert. Top 10 ways to enhance your love-making ability. Number 1, eat a healthy diet. Number 2, exercise. 3, manage stress. 4, enhance intestinal health. 5, avoid alcohol. 6, take specific nutrients. Minerals of all kinds are needed for healthy sexual function. One of the most important is zinc, which many people are deficient in. Zinc is critical for the health of the prostate and for testosterone production in men. Zinc is also needed for female hormone balance. Another one is potassium, and it's a very important mineral for muscle tone and high energy levels. Vegetables and fresh vegetable juices are high in potassium, as are nuts, seeds, and most unrefined whole foods. Number 7 is essential fats. 8 herbal products of many kinds have been used for centuries as aphrodisiacs, and in just a minute we'll talk more about essential oils. Number 9, dimethylglycine, or DMG, is a non-vitamin nutrient that increases stamina and tissue oxygen levels. Many have found that it increases lovemaking endurance and enjoyment. Number 10, L-arginine. It's an amino acid that is useful for men who have trouble maintaining an erection. L-arginine, like all amino acids, should be taken on an empty stomach for maximum benefit. It's also been known to increase sperm count in 80% of men with low counts. Avoid L-arginine if you have herpes or any herpes infection, such as cold sores or chickenpox, shingles. They're all part of the herpes simplex virus. Reading from the book Women of Purpose, a daily devotional for discovering a meaningful life in Christ by Sarah Daigle. Day 41. And you will feel secure because there is hope. You will look around and take your rest in security. Job 11, verse 18, ESV. My 4-year-old son was distraught and for some odd reason I held him in my arms and said, "David, you will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." "No," he sobbed. "What? You don't want to see the goodness of the Lord?" I asked. "No, but you will, David." He suddenly and violently flung himself into my arms and cried out, "Jesus is playing with my balloon." David had received a special balloon and, as is wont to happen, lost it to the sky. In his 4-year-old mind, he pictured Jesus in the heavens somewhere, enjoying his lost treasure, and he resented it. I assured him that his balloon was not being held by Jesus, and that it indeed floated around the air until it deflated and dropped to the ground somewhere. As I penned his little story into my journal, a whole new lesson formed in my mind. How many times do we as adults hesitate to give it all up to the Lord because we picture Him withholding from us our highest joy, taking from us what we really need, not caring about our deepest longings, asking us to give too much in return for too little? We hold back out of fear that our needs will not be met, that we really know how to orchestrate life better than He does. We must see instead that God takes what seems good, so there's room for the actual good. Why would God take from us those we love most dearly? Why would a dearly loved brother suddenly disappear, never to return again? Why do those we love the most endure trials we wish we could take away, but are helpless to do so? It seems a contradiction that God takes from us what we think we need in order to show Himself more beautiful, that when we are stripped of it all, His presence becomes even more delightful, that His glory shines more brightly in darkness, that the very presence of want becomes an opportunity for His fullness to satiate. And thus it remains that God is such a friend that He is willing to allow His children trials in order for them to become more satisfied, to show them that nothing in life satiates the soul like He does. It is only that we grope about in our humanness to find what only He can give. Sometimes He takes our props, so we find Him to be the pillar. He knows we need a strong, lasting pillar, much more than a few fading props. In light of eternity and the depth of our own hearts, He remains, in spite of it all, the source of the highest love, because only love knows how to give, just like that. He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose. Jim Elliot. Father, thank You that You never ask us to give up something without returning blessing on us. Thank You that we never give in vain. Amen. What better day than Valentine's Day to be talking about libido and erectile dysfunction and essential oils that might help you? In the book, The Essential Oils Apothecary, Dr. Zielinski and Mama Zielinski, better known as Dr. Z and Mama Z, have a whole chapter devoted to that subject. And they kind of joke around a little bit, and I kind of have to laugh as how most people will come to this chapter first, and that their most famous blog post was their essential oils for sex. They go on to talk a little bit more about it as far as chronic disease and how it affects the sex life, and some different essential oils that might get the bedroom a little warmer than usual, if you know what I mean. But Low libido is oftentimes a problem for men, and it can range in prevalence from 5% in younger men to 25% in men over 65. In women, low libido is common in all stages of life because of the fluctuating hormones. Chronic illness can complicate and compound the issue. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something that you need to be honest and talk with your partner about if you're having issues. With women, it's often the estrogen, the fluctuations of the hormones, which can affect the vaginal dryness. I got away from the petro-based chemical type lubricants for sexual vaginal dryness by using MCT or coconut oil. It is a safe way to lubricate with an oil that is more naturally derived. And I see that in the recipes on some gentle lubricant found on page 142 in the book, she uses the organic virgin coconut oil as well. Make sure it's organic. There are other things that they mention as far as essential oils' approach to libido and how to find different ways to enjoy sex and enjoy your partner in a very natural way. One of the essential oils that they mention, I've mentioned before, my favorite, Lang Lang. Lang Lang has a reputation as an aphrodisiac throughout the aromatherapy world and is one of the best essential oils for increasing arousal and improving sex, according to Dr. Z and Mama Z. But, in fact, the effect Lang Lang has on the body is not to boost the libido, but it does reduce anxiety, which can get in the way of lovemaking. By that token, Lang Lang can help set the mood. Lang Lang is also known as a harmonizer, which means it helps your body reach balance or homeostasis, and it's a wonderful addition to any love blend. And they go on to tell you an application and how to use it. They have several different essential oils that they mention in this chapter that is a number of pages long, but they have different recipes and information about each one. I highly suggest that you might check out this book. If nothing else, that chapter on Valentine's Day might be just the ticket. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. I'm going to talk a little bit about amino acids because I brought it up on L-arginine, but I just want to introduce you a little bit to amino acids and how they work with the body in nutrition. Amino acids are organic compounds that comprise the building blocks of protein. They're necessary to make just about all the constituents of the body, from hair and skin to blood. We get them from the proteins in food, and of the many that have been identified, around 14 are reasonably well understood, and they should not be supplemented without medical supervision. Many different amino acids are found, about 20 of which are main constituents of proteins. Only about half of these are classified as essential nutrients, that is, necessary in the diet. Proteins are indispensable substances in our diets because of their constituent amino acids. Nutritionally complete proteins are those that contain the right concentrations of the amino acids that humans cannot synthesize from other amino acids or other sources. Some are building blocks in the synthesis of new proteins, while others may be used to supply energy, and still others, particularly when large amounts of proteins are consumed, may be excreted in the urine. Amino acids are necessary to make almost all elements in the body, including hair, skin, bone, other body tissues, antibodies, hormones, enzymes, and blood. Experts suggest they should not be supplemented without the supervision of a trained practitioner. Without arginine, it boosts immunity, fights cancer by inhibiting the growth of a number of tumors, helps build muscle and burns fat by stimulating the pituitary glands to increase the secretion of the growth hormone, helps heal burns and other wounds, helps protect the liver and detoxify harmful substances. It increases sperm count in men with a low count, hence why we mentioned it on Valentine's Day. L-arginine is one of the most important and most useful amino acids with a significant role in muscle growth and healing, helping to regulate and support key components of the immune system. It is very important for male fertility. L-arginine is a non-essential amino acid, which means that it is capable of being synthesized in the body, and it is, therefore, not essential that we get additional amounts in our daily diet. It is, however, essential for children. Arginine with lysine can inhibit herpes attacks in carriers. Arginine alone should not be taken by anyone with herpes simplex infections. Best sources are raw cereals, chocolate, and nuts. The optimal intake is unknown. Caution on take L-arginine on an empty stomach and do not take in excess since it could cause mental and metabolic disturbances, nausea, and diarrhea. It should not be taken by anyone with a history of schizophrenia. Prolonged high doses may be dangerous. So, just make sure that you keep that in mind, but we wanted to go ahead and mention it since I'd mentioned it earlier in the previous segment. It's also worth noting that men suffering from prostate enlargement should take extra vitamin B complex with additional zinc. There is a reference to reduced sperm count will benefit from extra vitamin C spread over 3 doses on a daily basis of 1,000 milligrams. So there are a number of different vitamins that are very vital for not only health, but your sexual health as well. Now, women, they can have some issues with energy, but it's usually related to the B vitamins, and keeping up with those should help, especially if they're on birth control or have a copper IUD or on hormone replacement therapy or have a heavy menstrual flow. They would need additional forms of iron that they could find in meat, and it could be taken by itself or with vitamin C for maximum absorption of iron. Other good sources of iron are dry fruits and green leafy vegetables. That would help to take care of any issues from a heavy monthly menstrual flow. But women with PMS should increase their intake of vitamin B6 up some to 25 milligrams daily and take an evening primrose capsule, which would help them as well with the PMS symptoms. The postmenopausal women will also need extra antioxidants as well as increased calcium. It's suggested to take some boron, which helps to prevent the bone-wasting disease, osteoporosis. And we'll talk more about these in our own special segment, but we did want to mention some things that would be hormonally related and have a direct effect on sex, because we want everyone to have a very loving Valentine's Day to enjoy. And not just on Valentine's Day, but keeping your love life active is a good way to keep your relationship strong for a long marriage. And if you're planning on having children, having your nutritional status, especially in the women, is highly recommended. Nutritional status is as important before conception as after conception, and possibly even more so. Many women don't even realize they're pregnant until a lot of things in the baby has been formed, and especially thinking of folic acid or folate for the baby and neural tube defects. Those are formed in the fetus before a woman even realizes she's pregnant. So I don't want to rattle on any longer. It's time to call it good and put on some relaxing music and enjoy. Today's featured music is Safe in His Arms by Joy Spring. Enjoy. All information in this podcast or on the website, blog, or in newsletters is for educational purposes only. and not intended to be construed as medical advice, diagnosis, or prescription. Please seek the help of a medical professional to get treatment for your particular condition. Thanks for listening to the Lone Zebra podcast. Don't forget to check out the show notes at dianelalomia.substack.com. That's Diane, D-I-A-N-E, Lalomia, Lalomia.substack.com. Music on the podcast is provided by Epidemic Sound. See the show notes for featured music and artists. Don't forget to share this podcast with your family and friends, especially fellow zebras. And don't forget to rate The Lone Zebra on your favorite podcast app so others can find me. Until next time, blessings. Have a great day.